Part 3. Is the PlayStation overrated? I honestly think it kind of is this generation, to be honest. The PS5 it's a good console, but it's meh. So, part 3 versus the Xbox Series X. Let's get into this. Part 3. Is the PlayStation overrated? I honestly think it kind of is this generation, to be honest. The PS5 it's a good console, but it's meh. So, part 3 versus the Xbox Series X. Let's get into this. So, here's the elephant in this room. I've made 2 videos already. Okay, the first one was buy whatever you want. The second one was me defending Game Pass essentially versus PS Now, and it's saying still buy whatever you want, but honestly, the Xbox is a better deal right now. And this video, well, yeah, I'm gonna critique the PS5 as someone who honestly owns the PS5. Like, it's the console that's sitting right in front of me. Like, I'm looking at it right now. It's a big white modem, and I like it. It's just, it's not like the greatest piece of plastic in the world, like every Sony fanboy seems to make it out to be. So this is a fair critique, okay? I'm gonna critique some of the things. I'm gonna say it's positives, and I'm gonna get disliked anyway. So please leave a like, and a dislike and a negative comment down below if you disagree with any of the points I make. So, PlayStation 5. This is the third part, okay? I've already covered the 2 previous consoles. PS5 is the weakest, well, of the big fat consoles this generation, okay? It's weaker than the Xbox Series X. There's only 2 consoles, unless you count Nintendo Switch, which I don't in this comparison, and it's weaker. That's fine. It doesn't have to be stronger. However, maybe towards the end of the generation, you may see that. But at the moment, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to notice the difference between the Xbox Series X and the PS5 unless you're pixel counting, which, unless you're in Digital Foundry, you're not going to know. So, honestly, both consoles are pretty even. So, you know what that leaves us with? That leaves us with the games, leaves us with the console UI, the controller, and accessories. So, I'm going to start with the UI because I'm going to say this, and I say this really with a great deal of sadness. I honestly think the PS5's UI is garbage. It's not that good. The PS4's UI was better. Why they changed it? Because it's new. It's next gen. What does that mean? Okay, no one cares if it's next gen. You know how much time people actually spend in the UI? Not a lot. They're either playing games, watching movies, or not in the UI unless they're leaving in the background. Like, literally is it. It's boring. It's a boring UI. It's got HDR elements. I have an OLED. I don't care about the HDR elements. I'll tell you this right now. It means nothing to me. I don't think it means anything to anyone. Okay, what does that add to your gaming experience? What does that add to the console? The Xbox Series X's UI, which is a carryover from the UI enhancements they've made, Microsoft, since last gen, honestly, it's cleaner and it's better. It's got more customizability. This UI, you can't customize wallpapers, you can't customize music. PlayStation 4, you could have backgrounds that were dynamic and had their own unique theme songs. This has one annoying piece of music that plays, which I keep on the background because it reminds me that I'm playing a next gen console. Wow, fantastic. Well done, Sony. Where's the customizability? Yes, it's going to be coming in an update. But, that's a step back they took. Okay, they took a step back from previous gen. And I don't know why. So that's strike one for me. The UI isn't that good. Okay. Okay. And I don't honestly, it's just, I already know I'm going to get. Why am I saying that I'm going to get disliked? I know I'm going to get disliked. And I'm controlling my own video. Please leave a dislike for me hating on the PlayStation 5's UI and saying to me that it's better than the Xbox Series X's UI because it's got HDR elements. Please, I want someone to leave that comment down below so I can give it a love heart react because honestly, that HDR element, that makes my gaming experience 20 times better. Okay, second thing. Accessories. Now, Microsoft isn't great with accessories, to be honest. Most of the accessories they carried over from previous gen. You know what? So Sony one up them. They're like, if you want to play PS5 games, you have to have a PS5 controller because screw you. Give us money. Now, I know you get a PS5 controller, with the box, but PS5 controllers in Australia, $90. Yeah, okay, cool. I can use my Xbox controllers. I got two Xbox controllers, which honestly are more comfortable than the PlayStation 5 controllers. And you look at the. Do I even have my PlayStation 5 controller? Hold on. PlayStation 5 controller. I'm getting my PlayStation 5 controller. PlayStation 5 controller, okay? You look at it, right? It looks and feels more now like an Xbox controller. You want to know why? Because Xbox controllers are more comfortable. Don't tell me a single person out there who's going to tell me that the PS4 controller is more comfortable than the Xbox One controller. Because they're lying to you. They really are. And this, honestly, ergonomically feels a lot like an Xbox One controller. So take that as you will. Headsets, gaming headsets, well, same standard. A lot of the PlayStation 4 headsets are not compatible with PS5 at the moment. So take that as you will. I mean, you got the haptic feedback by Sony's $150 Pulse wireless headset, which honestly is the worst headset I've ever used. Literally, you could just buy an audiophile headset and you'll get a better experience on the cheap, okay? And then you get it wired, okay? Other things on the controller. So, obviously it's white. Now they're selling black controllers and red controllers, and honestly, I'd prefer black, but white, whatever. It's a color. I don't really care. If that matters to you, then sure, okay. But the color of the PS5 and the controller doesn't bother me. A couple of things that do bother me. So these buttons, very plasticky. That's a nitpick. But the Xbox One controller honestly feels more well put together than the PS5 controller. Okay? And these haptic feedback triggers, I honestly am scared that they're gonna break. Because they feel like they're gonna break. And there's already been reports of them breaking. So that's $110. Or you go back to the store and it's a waste of resources to this planet if something as simple as that's breaking. Again, that could be an early adopter issue, teething issue, but something I have to bring up. So Xbox controllers, honestly, they don't have haptic feedback, but honestly, I'm going to ask this. How many people actually care about haptic feedback? Being serious here, it's a novelty. Wow, I can feel the gun press when I press the button. You know what I prefer when I'm playing my video games? A mouse. You want to know why? Because while you're busy enjoying the clickety click of, shooting a gun in Call of Duty, I'm too busy killing you and getting those big kill streaks because precision matters more than whatever the hell this novelty is. It's a novelty, okay? Haptic, I'm calling it now. I didn't say this last year, but I'm calling it this year. Haptic feedback is a novelty. Now, how your mileage may vary, but for me, it's a novelty. And that and the Pulse 3, that, what's it called? Their 3D audio. I forgot what it's called. I can't believe I forgot what it's called because I remember, I literally said this 2 days ago. Tempest. Their Tempest audio is also a novelty. Yeah. So 2 novelties. Well done, Sony. You introduced 2 novelties. Why don't you just adopt Dolby Atmos? Dolby Atmos is good. It's got good support, but no, because you want to be different. This is honestly turning into a rant in the moment, but it is because honestly, it's like PlayStation 5 is the best console ever. Well, it's really not. It's got a lot of issues. Point out the issues. But yeah, at least it now charges better and has better battery life. I will give it that. PS4 battery life was garbage. PS5's battery life is much better. So that's an improvement at least. And honestly, the rest of the button, the rest of the, thingies feels good. So anyway, so that's the that's the controller, peripherals, meh. Like Xbox carried over from last gen. You need new stuff for PlayStation 5, but how much they'll affect you, honestly, it is what it is. Okay, two versions of the PlayStation 5, digital and the disc version. Now, I still use discs, so just disclaimer, I still use discs. So obviously I got the disc version. If you don't like discs, which fair enough, that means you're locked in with the PlayStation, the PS Now, PS Store, and I've been browsing it for the last 4 or 5 months just to see what kind of sales they have on there regularly. And how do I put this? They're garbage as well. Okay, Steam on PC has better sales. Humble Bundle on PC has better bundles and sales. Epic Games gives away free games. Epic Games Store on PC is a better value, and I hate that store, than the PlayStation Now store. Now, someone's going to respond to me in the comments saying, but the Xbox store is so terrible. They also have Game Pass. That's the difference. One doesn't have Game Pass, one has Game Pass. Also, the Microsoft Store sales is just as bad. So they're even on that regard. Again, but one console has Game Pass, one doesn't. So anyway, that has nothing to do. I don't know why I brought that up. But look, essentially it boils down to, you're locked in with what's on there. And I'm going to say this right now. I can't believe that PlayStation exclusives are $124 in Australia. In America, $70. Good for you guys. Well done. $124 for a video game is daylight robbery. Okay? It's not... I love, like, some of the console exclusives. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love The Last of Us, the first one, not the second one. I love Ghost of Tsushima. I love... Ratchet and Clank wasn't too bad. But for $124, you're joking. And they don't go on sale very often. Like they never go on sale, actually. And if they do, they go to like $98. Wow. So I'm paying the price of a normal AAA game for on a sale. Because Sony, like, well, we've got the best exclusives. Let's charge like a whole lot more for them. Meanwhile, Microsoft are like, we're going to have our exclusives at like the same $60 because we're not assholes. Now, I know someone, again, in the comments is going to say, well, Sony exclusives are better. That is a matter of perspective and opinion of what games you play, okay? Now, objectively, you can say some games are better, okay? Like they're good quality games within their genre. But again, how many people have played Ratchet and Clank, and how many people play Fortnite? I guarantee you Ratchet and Clank's better game than Fortnite in terms of critical ratings. But more people play Fortnite because it's bloody Fortnite. Like all the little kiddies are like playing Fortnite. So again, my point is it depends on what games you play. And in that regard, the exclusives argument still, for me, is a bit of a moot point for Sony's console. Especially when Xbox has a lot of exclusives coming out in the years to come. And I know that people are going to say, but Sony already has the exclusives, okay? Why would you buy an Xbox? You already have the exclusives. You got to be interested in those exclusives. If you have no interest in those exclusives, zero value. That's how much they offer you. Zero value. And I've already said that in 2 videos. I'm going to say it again in a 3rd video. If you're not interested in Sony's exclusives, the Xbox Series X is a better deal for you. It's a better console. Okay, if you have no interest in any of the exclusives coming out on the PlayStation platform, then don't get a PlayStation. Okay, the only people I'd recommend a PlayStation for are people who want to play those exclusives. Seriously, the Xbox Series X is a better console in terms of raw power, in terms of customizability, if you're talking about the UI, in terms of accessory compatibility compared to last gen, and also in terms of deals like Game Pass. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to acknowledge something. Big thing I'm going to acknowledge. And that's the good things about the PlayStation. The exclusives. They have some good exclusives. They've been mostly consumer friendly. Although in recent years, they've been a bit dickish, especially between PS4 and PS5. They've been very, anti-consumer, let's just say. Whereas Microsoft are like pro-consumer, Sony are like we're the leading console seller. Let's act like that. I told you, don't support these companies. They don't have your best interests at heart. They have their shareholders' interests at heart. Okay? It's all about this. Okay? Now, I'm not saying Microsoft better because they're also all about this. But just rate the console. Buy whichever console you want. Okay? And stop saying the Sony's console is the best console ever. It's really not. It has a fast SSD. Yeah, it loads a little bit faster. Oh, it has the cracking compression technology. Wow, cool story. Wow, thank you for sharing that. It also has 200 gigabytes less storage than the Xbox Series X. So also upgrading the SSD is more of a pain. I'd say in terms of, if you have a mum and dad who don't want to like break their PS5, even though it's really hard to, like who don't want to disassemble the PS5, all they have to do is they buy one of those little cartridges, Xbox Series X, plug in the back. That's simple. PS5, you got to disassemble, you got to put it in. You got to make sure you have an SSD that's actually compatible. So yeah, there's a lot of extra steps. Now, I'm not saying those steps are hard. It's just they're more steps. And the average Joe who buys a console doesn't want to do those steps. I'm telling you that. Okay? Stop acting like elitists, like, oh, but these steps are so easy. Good for you. It's like PC. I tell everyone to go and buy a PC if I was actually being an elitist. But I know PCs cost a lot of money. And also the PC market's completely garbage at the moment. So honestly, I tell people to buy a console if they can find one instead. Hell, even a Scout console is better value than a PC at the moment. So take that as you will. So, in summary, what do you take away from this? PlayStation 5 is not the greatest console ever created. It's not going to cure cancer. The SSD is not, the second coming of the Holy Ghost. It's a good console, okay? Both of the consoles are great pieces of tech, okay? It's just the PS5 has a lot of step backs from the PS4. If you're comparing the PS4 and PS5 has a lot of step backs, okay? Now you expect the hardware leap, so I'm not giving the PS5 credit for that because it's been 8 years. You expect that hardware leap, but in terms of features and everything else, minus exclusives, it's been a step backwards, and that's, in my opinion, it's just disappointing to be honest. And honestly, it doesn't matter for Sony because they're selling everything they make anyway, so it makes zero difference. They're gonna sell every console they make. Same with Microsoft, so it makes zero difference. But, in my opinion, if you want a better value, buy an Xbox Series X. If you want the exclusives that you can actually play them, PS5. Buy whichever console you want. Just buy a PC, honestly. PC's better. Yeah, you don't get the exclusives, but you're in control of your own experience at that point. You can customize your PC however you like, with as much RGB bling as you want. Ah, the RGB bling. But yeah, that's a summary. Okay. And I'm not going to talk about the comparing these two consoles anymore. I may do some might do some videos where I look at other people comparing the two consoles and reacting to them and giving my feedback and thoughts. But otherwise, I think I'm done with this. Yes, I did these videos for views, as everyone did. But I actually enjoy sharing my opinion about these consoles. So, I mean, I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it. Like the minuscule amount of views. Wow, I only got 100 views. Wow, so much effort. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're a PS5, Sony fanboy, make sure you leave a dislike in the comment section down below. Leave a like if Microsoft / you actually enjoyed this video and thought I was being fair. If I wasn't being fair, please leave a comment down below. Give me your opinion. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys on this. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, I'm going to definitely get more dislikes than likes in this video, but I love YouTube, don't I?